Well, it is the last Friday of the month of lovers. Good evening. Glad you could join us here on TV 47 Weekend. My name is Musa Salah. We have a lot lined up for you, but first, let's take a look at the top stories making headlines tonight.
Mimi niko tayari kutumia kama ni katiba ya sasa ama ni katiba ambayo itakuja.
Change the law. I don't care, DP Ruto says. As ODM boss Raila Odinga says he's not using the constitutional amendment as his state house vehicle in 2022.
Hii BBI si mlango ambao Raila anatumia mlango ya dirisha atiangie na state house.
Also tonight, government pathologist says man found dead in a house on Jogoro died from carbon monoxide poisoning a day after woman and son were killed.
I concluded that the boy died because of what is called smothering. I think it was a hand or some clothes was placed on the mouth and nose to deny him oxygen. Same as the mother, same mechanism.
Walk in at the KEMSA offices, walk out a millionaire. More companies claim to have walked in at KEMSA offices and walked out millions rich.
Welcome to the broadcast. Anu Wairimu is our sign language interpreter. TV 47 Weekend begins right now. An autopsy report has revealed that Charity Cherop and her son Alan Kipngetich was smoothed to death at their house along Jogoo Road in Buruburu, Nairobi. The report has further shown that Charity's male friend Kevin Kipkoech, who was also found dead in the same house, succumbed to carbon monoxide poisoning that is said to have been caused by a jiko found next to him. As David Mudoka reports, could these three mysterious murders have been a case of suicide or two murders?
Charity Cherop Cheboy and her son Alan Kipngetich were suffocated to death by an unknown person or people in their rented apartment at the government quarters along Jogoo Road, Buruburu, Nairobi. According to government pathologist Johansen Oduor, marks on the face and the neck of mother and son show that the two were smothered to death by either a hand or a cloth.
So for the boy, there were injuries on the neck and on the face. And he had what is called cyanosis, which indicated that there was no oxygen in the body when he died. So I concluded that the boy died because of what is called smothering. I think it was a hand or some clothes was placed on the mouth and nose to deny him oxygen. Same as the mother, same mechanism.
Other marks on Charity's right arm also indicate signs of struggle as the 34-year-old mother attempted to defend herself from her attacker or attackers.
The woman had some superficial subcutaneous injuries. This is injuries under the skin of the right upper arm, which you usually see in someone who is defending themselves.
The post-mortem report on Kevin Kipkoech's body, which was also found in the same room, shows that the seminarian died of carbon monoxide poisoning caused by a charcoal jiko that was found next to him.
That's the information I've gotten also. So it's in keeping with what we saw in the autopsy. So what actually killed this gentleman was carbon monoxide poisoning.
Oduor has further refuted that other injuries found on the ankles and wrists of Kevin's body might have led to his death, terming them superficial and potentially self-inflicted.
Yes, there were notes there were actually ropes, which look like electric cables, which were tied on the gentleman, on the wrist and on the ankles. It's difficult to establish whether they were self-tied or by someone. However, they look loose, so it could be either. That's subject to investigation by the police.
No arrests have been made following the three murders up to date, as investigations entered their fourth day. The bodies of Cherop and her son were found on the floor of her bedroom on Tuesday morning, while that of Kevin was found in the bathroom, his hands and feet tied with laptop cables. According to Oduor, mother and son might have been killed hours before Kevin breathed his last, citing the differences in decomposition levels of their bodies and that of Kevin.
When I look at the bodies, the boy and the mother look like they died earlier than the gentleman. Reason being that there was an advanced level of decomposition on the bodies. However, when I look at the gentleman, the body was fairly fresh.
According to neighbors, Cherop, who worked at a registrar of persons office in Mathare, and Hassan were last seen alive on Sunday, while Kevin was seen the next day at a shop where he bought charcoal. David Mudhoka, TV47, Nairobi.
A Nyeri tycoon suspected to have orchestrated the murder of his own son will be held in custody for 5 more days. This is after a court in Nyeri County granted an affidavit by the investigating officers for the holding of the suspects to allow more time for the completion of investigations.
75-year-old Stephen Wangondu, who is suspected to have orchestrated the murder of his own son, was presented before the corridors of justice Friday morning, a Nyeri court ordering the 5 remain in police custody for 5 more days. Wangondu and 5 other suspects, Geoffrey Waturi, Eddie Kariuki Ngari, Charity Mushiri, James Mahinda Mwangi, and Raphael Washira were arraigned before Nyeri Principal Magistrate Matthias Okuche on Friday, where the prosecution asked for more time to detain them as investigations continue.
Application in entirety, and for the reasons that I've given in my ruling, find that the prosecution's application is meritorious and order that the suspects be held in custody for a period of 5 days from the date hearing, that the matter be mentioned after 5 days from today.
Stephen is suspected to have hired killers for 160,000 Kenyan shillings to kill his son on the night of 31st December 2020. Raphael Washira, the 6th suspect who has been on the run, was arrested on Thursday in Nairobi's Pipeline area. Zainab Mohammed, TV47.
Now, U.S. President Joe Biden has commended Kenya's commitment and role in ensuring regional peace and security, pledging the U.S.'s commitment to working closely with the country at the United Nations Security Council to safeguard the region's stability. However, in a telephone conversation, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Joe Biden spoke about strengthening the Kenya-U.S. bilateral ties, the economy, peace and security, climate change, human rights, and the humanitarian situation in the Horn of Africa, as well as the ongoing Tigray conflict. The two leaders also discussed the ongoing negotiations for a Kenya-U.S. free trade agreement, where President Kenyatta expressed that it would strengthen the strong economic ties between the two countries. Kenya today recorded a significant increase in COVID-19 cases as the government says the first batch of the COVID-19 vaccine is expected to arrive in the country next week. Zainab Mohammed with the details. Well, away from COVID-19 vaccines, of course, on to politics. The Deputy President William Ruto has condemned those who want him to lead the no camp in the ongoing constitutional amendment process. Ruto calling on the proponents of BBI to cease forcing Kenyans to support the bill during the referendum. Joash Onsare reports.
Jambo tena.
Speaking in Nandi County Friday, Deputy President William Ruto said he doesn't care whether the constitution will be changed or not. The second in command claiming that he will work with any constitution, whether the current one or the amended law, if the ongoing process sails through.
Kuna wengine wanatarajia ya kwamba ati mimi nitaongoza mrengo hii ama mrengo ile. Mimi ni mtu ambaye naamini demokrasia. Ile itaamuliwa na Wakenya. Mimi niko tayari kutumia, kama ni katiba ya sasa ama ni katiba ambayo itakuja. Mimi niko tayari kuhakikisha ya kwamba the will of the people of Kenya must be respected.
The DP, however, accused the proponents of the document of forcing Kenyans to support the document even before reading and understanding it.
Tuwache vitisho na kushurutisha watu na kulazimisha kila mtu apatiwe nafasi kulingana na vile anavyoona na vile anavyoelewa na vile anavyotaka, kwa sababu kurekebishwa kwa katiba ni haki ya kila Mkenya, na ile katiba inarekebishwa ni katiba ya Wakenya wote, na hakuna Mkenya mkubwa, hakuna mdogo, hakuna wa mrengo huu na mrengo ule.
He says he will not be pushed to lead a no campaign as pressure continues to mount on him to declare his stand on the document. His camp is said to be divided on the position they will take on the referendum. Some are said to be advising Ruto to ignore the referendum politics and focus on his 2022 bid, while others want him to support the changes. However, a third group wants him to oppose the constitutional amendment process and lead a no campaign.
Mimi nawauliza hata kwa nyinyi mkiona Uhuru Kenyatta akienda nyumbani, nani anaelewa hii kazi hii ya kusukuma mpaka iweze kufika mahali tunataka?
Yesterday, President Uhuru Kenyatta met political party leaders who are said to be critical in the BBI campaigns. They included ODM's Raila Odinga, Wiper's Kalonzo Musyoka, Moses Wetangula of Ford Kenya, Musalia Mudavadi of ANC, and NARC party leader Charity Ngilu.
Muliona watu 7 wamewekwa laini. Simuliwaona kwa State House. Katika kitabu ya Samuel, watu 7 walipelekwa ati wakaonyeshwa ati Jesse, yule baba yake ya David alikuwa anaitwa Jesse. Aliambiwa hawa ndio niko nao watoto ambao nataka uwekelee mafuta. Na prophet akasema hapana, iko kijana mmoja hayuko hapa. Iko kijana mmoja hayuko.
Hawa watu hawana mpango yoyote. Endorsement yenye tunakuombea ni ya Mwenyezi Mungu na hawa raia. Sini namna hiyo? Sini namna hiyo? So watembee tu, wazunguke chai na mandazi, watoke hoteli, waende State House, wajipange, waende juu, chini, kulia, kushoto, lakini tunajua endorsement ambaye Mungu atakupatia na endorsement ya hawa raia ndio itakuwa mbele. Sini namna hiyo?
So far, 42 county assemblies have adopted the BBI bill, with 2, Nandi and Baringo, rejecting the bill. Joash Onsare, TV 47.
With the BBI bill expected to be tabled before Parliament in a few weeks' time, ODM leader Raila Odinga has claimed that the bill is not his backdoor ticket to State House. The ODM boss now claims that only Kenyans can admit him into State House, but Odinga remains a critic of Deputy President William Ruto's hustler narrative, saying Ruto's Wilbaronomics will condemn Kenyans into poverty.
ODM leader Raila Odinga has refuted claims that the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020 is part of his backdoor plan to State House next year. Speaking at the funeral of Bonchari Member of Parliament John Oro in Kisii County, Odinga has said that only Kenyans can elect him as Kenya's next president.
Hii BBI si mlango ambao Raila anatumia mlango ya dirisha atiangie na State House. Hapana. akitaka kwenda kwa State House, wananchi watampeleka yeye. Hii ni kitu ambayo itadumu na itasaidia kizazi hiki na vizazi zingine ambazo zinakuja katika taifa letu.
Thanking members of assemblies for passing the bill in their respective counties, Odinga drummed up support for the bill, claiming that it will empower the youth.
Kweli mulikuwa katika mstari wa kwanza ili kuhakikisha tumepitisha hiyo mpango, na nyinyi nikataka pia niseme asanteni sana kwa hiyo support.
Kuna ile pesa ambayo inakwenda kwa vijana. Vijana wanaweza kukopesha pesa ya kuanzisha miradi ya kuwasaidia. Badala ya vijana kurandaranda na kuhangaika na kungoja mpaka wewe ukuje sina mchango. Wataweza kukuwa waajiri badala ya kukuwa waajiriwa.
Odinga has also criticized the wheelbarrow politics driven by Deputy President William Ruto, Odinga yet again claiming that the hustler versus dynasties narrative is divisive.
Ukifananisha na yule mtu ambaye anakuja kuambia wewe mtu mdogo, si mambo ya mkokoteni, si mama mboga, si mambo ya wheelbarrow. Sisi tunasema Wakenya wataweza kuendelea mbele wakikaa pamoja.
Kilifi County Assembly is the latest to pass the BBI bill, increasing the number of counties that have so far passed the constitutional amendment bill to 42, with only Baringo and Nandi being the only counties that have rejected the bill. But despite the Third Way Alliance party withdrawing its petition against the BBI bill about a week ago, the party's legal counsel Caroline Kibiwot has claimed she is not aware of the withdrawal, advising the BBI legal team to ignore the notice of withdrawal.
Well, TV47 Weekend takes a short commercial break, but we'll be back with more. Remember, you can follow this live broadcast on www.tv47.co.ke.
They say the way to the heart is through the stomach. This month of love, Throwdown shares with you those amazing food ideas for that candlelit dinner and picnic date. Learn those dining etiquette and avoid those embarrassing moments every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. What's the perfect way to kickstart your day in the morning? Well, apart from having a healthy breakfast, the Morning Cafe is all you need. We will inform you on what's happening on the roads, dive deeper into the newspapers, alongside heated political debates.
I have to fight the order. Yes. Order.
Did you know that your greatest wealth is health?
Then we start eating right, and that's what I do in my clinic.
With some good Friday vibes. The Morning Cafe with Linda Alela, Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. only on TV47. On the Grind, we bring you different entrepreneurs who give the story of their businesses with love and passion.
I'm a musician forever. This is something that is inborn.
It excites me each day. It's a field that has always excited me.
Because when you show love to your business, it will show love to you.
The most rewarding bit of being a photographer is seeing a bride able to see her images of her wedding and evoke emotion in her and just relive the moment once again.
Get to hear these stories and so much more every Monday at 7:30 p.m. On Coffee with Movie, we bring you great testimonies from amazing personalities.
Mwanzo wa kwanza alikaa ndani, ilikuwa intense cause alikuwa you know.
Welcome back. You are watching TV47 Weekend here on TV47. Deputy President William Ruto's allies have castigated those seeking to impeach him from office, as Boniface Barasa now reports.
In recent days, there have been calls to impeach Deputy President William Ruto, with those pushing for Ruto's impeachment, accusing him of defying his boss, President Uhuru Kenyatta. It is, however, a move that his allies have downplayed, saying it has no legal backing.
Tumeona hivi karibuni yule mjumbe wa Lugari bwana Ayub Safula anapokuwa katika mamikutano za matanga na mikutano singine amekuwa akisema ako na impeachment motion. Mumeona hiyo impeachment motion? Hakuna. So hizi ni vitisho vya baridi.
Kumekuwa na continuous attacks kutoka kwa some MPs ya kwamba yule naibu wa rais aweze kuresign. Hii ni serikali ambayo iliweza kukua formed pamoja na presidency ni moja hata katika katiba. Hivyo basi hao watu wawili wataendelea wafanye kazi pamoja hadi 2022.
DP allies have also taken issue with Jubilee Party Vice Chairman David Mrathe, saying he is using his office to dismantle the ruling party as they call for sobriety in running the affairs of the party.
PNU ilikuweko, PNU sahi hata haina mjumbe hata moja. Na ilikuwa powerful, ilikuwa hata na president. Rais Kibaki alikuwa rais kwa tikiti ya PNU. Kwa hivyo Jubilee ni inapofanya namna hii ni dalili za kuisha. Katika kumbukumbu za Jubilee itakuwa ni Bwana Murathe, kwa sababu ile tabia ya Bwana Murathe ya kushurutu watu wengine, hiyo ndio itamaliza Jubilee.
This comes at a time that majority of Ruto's allies are working with a new political outfit UDA that they intend to use as a political vehicle to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta come 2022. Pukosa is also proposing the referendum to be held alongside next year general elections to save taxpayers' money.
Badala ya sisi kutumia pesa saa hizi kutengeneza mambo ya katiba, hiyo katiba tunaweza kuirekebisha tunapoenda kwa uchaguzi ya 2022, katika uchaguzi ya 2022 samani. Na tunapoenda katika hiyo uchaguzi tuwape wa Kenya fursa ya kuweza kufanya uamuzi thabiti kwa kuwapatia multiple choice questions.
Referendum ikuja haraka sana, tumeshaipitisha katika counties, imeenda katika parliament, itachukua around 2 weeks. Kwa hivyo wakishamalizana nayo ikuje kwa mwananchi. Hii referendum ilikuwa ya Wanjiku. Wacha Wanjiku mwenyewe aamue anahitaji ama hahitaji.
At least 42 county assemblies have so far adopted the 2020 Constitution Amendment Bill, which has also been submitted to the National Assembly and Senate by more than 30 of the assemblies. Boniface Barasa, TV47, Endebe Sub-County, Trans Nzoia County.
The directors of BAMBA Ventures, Molly Cheruto and Briema company Abdullah Raf, were at pain to explain how they acquired 180 million and 167 million shilling tenders, respectively, without following the procurement process and lack of proper documentation. Appearing before the Public Investments Committee, the two directors were hard-pressed by the committee on the payments done in less than a month, with the MPs expressing fears on whether any supplies were made to KEMSA, as Elizabeth Mutuku now reports.
Appearing before the National Assembly's Public Investments Committee, the directors of BAMBA Ventures were hard-pressed to explain how they were awarded a 180 million tender by Kenya Medical Supplies Authority KEMSA without proper documentation.
But you were there in 2019.
I took again my profile in 2019.
So then it cannot be through that system that you're talking about.
The company claims to have been pre-qualified earlier. They, however, claim to have known the authority from a unknown caller who informed them of the tenders.
We had a call from somebody, I can't remember the name, Abdul, something like that. As he said, a friend of his had secured an order from KEMSA to supply
You got a
masks.
call from who?
One of the people, just inquiry.
And his name was?
Abdi or Abdul. Abdi
Okay.
Abdul, yes, yeah. That
But
a
okay,
friend of
that is not just, it is not only a single name, it is half of a name.
The director, BAMBA Ventures Molly Cheruto, told the committee that the 180 million tender was split between their company and Shop and Buy Limited, one of the major beneficiaries of the COVID-19 tenders. The Shop and Buy company was also grilled by the committee this week.
We call it 5 million. I'll give you a number of couple of 100,000. Let's call it around 6 million shillings. You jumped from 6 million to 180 million shillings, and you're telling us all this was done through anonymous calls. People just called you, and till now you were paid on record time. You're telling us that nothing, and you expect every single person here just to take that as a word, right?
Yet you supplied twice. How does a company of your repute end up supplying 40,000 in April, 39,500 in May, and then invoicing in June? Why would you wait that long? This is a lot of money. And when were you paid? I don't see the payment voucher. And I saw that you did say you were paid. So where's the payment voucher? When were you paid?
Very open with us and very transparent. In your account, there's Shop and Buy. It is of much interest because they were given a tender worth 1 billion, 1.3 billion. You've been given for 180. What did they tell you? As they were touching themselves as a signatory, which means that there was no trust that you could deliver to them some money. That is clear, such that they have to introduce a signatory to your account to help them secure their share.
It was a similar story from Briema Cereals Limited director Abdul Araf, who could not explain how they obtained a 167 million tender without being pre-qualified. The directors of the company could not even tell where the offices of KEMSA are located.
Nairobi or Kisumu, Mombasa, at Embakasi. Yeah. So, okay. So you did not take the sample to the headquarters of KEMSA?
I have been directed to take to the warehouse.
Did you send the samples there, or did you deliver the goods there?
No, I took the sample there first.
Okay. I just want the clerks to note this down, because this is the first time actually someone is telling us that they took a sample to Embakasi, because it has always been in some office at KEMSA.
The committee further established that Nairobi Enterprise Limited, one of the companies claiming to have genuinely manufactured and supplied COVID-19 related items, were not paid 80 million shillings, the company claiming to have quoted the list price to KEMSA, with MPs raising queries why genuine companies were never paid their monies. The director, Rajan Danani, pleading with the committee to intervene.
I even went to see the CEO recently. I even complained to him as well. And I said, I'm being held at ransom for no reason.
How many people do you employ?
I employ 240 people all.
You're a company that employs 240 people. A company that employs 3 people walks in, walks out with 340 million at twice the price that you can be able to supply, and they get paid in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Elizabeth Mutuku, TV47 Nairobi.
Well, let's get back to that story on COVID-19. Kenya today recorded a significant increase in COVID-19 cases, as the government says the first batch of the COVID-19 vaccine is expected to arrive in the country next week. Zaina Mohammed with the details.
According to the Ministry of Health, the country has today recorded a total of 410 cases, a significant increase in the recent days. This coming at a time when the country's curve had seemingly flattened and the cases fully managed. A total of 6 people have also been reported to have succumbed to the virus, with only 24 recoveries recorded in the last 24 hours. The government, however, says hope is near, as it promises that the arrival of the first batch of the COVID-19 vaccine is expected next week. The first batch is targeted to immunize essential workers only. The arrival of the vaccine is a huge relief to many Kenyans as it signifies the first hope towards containing and ending the pandemic. And as all eyes are set for next week for the arrival of the vaccine, the COVID-19 measures set by the head of state in December last year will be expiring on March 3rd. Kenyans hoping that the president will relax most of the measures after almost a year of the pandemic. TV47.
Well, it's time to take another short commercial break, but we'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
They say the way to the heart is through the stomach. This month of love, Throwdown shares with you those amazing food ideas for that candlelit dinner and picnic date. Learn those dining etiquette and avoid those embarrassing moments every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. What's the perfect way to kickstart your day in the morning? Well, apart from having a healthy breakfast, the morning cafe is all you need. We will inform you on what's happening on the roads, dive deeper into the newspapers, alongside heated political debates.
I have to fight the order.
Yes.
Order.
Did you know that your greatest wealth is health?
Then we start eating right, and that's what I do in my clinic.
With some good Friday vibes. The Morning Cafe with Linda Alela, Monday to Friday, from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Only on TV47. On the grind, we bring you different entrepreneurs who give the story of their businesses with love and passion.
I'm a musician forever. This is something that is inborn.
It excites me each day. It's a field that has always excited me.
Because when you show love to your business, it will show love to you.
The most rewarding bit of being a photographer is seeing a bride able to see her images of her wedding and evoke emotion in her and just relive the moment once again.
Get to hear these stories and so much more every Monday at 7:30 p.m. On Coffee with Movie, we bring you great testimonies from amazing personalities.
Mwanzo wa kwanza alikaa ndani ilikuwa intense. Cause alikuwa, alikuwa atafuta place atawaka afanya thesis zake.
Stories that will inspire and encourage you.
Hiyo kitu ilisha waswa ni clap. Sheila told us this is what we've been looking for.
And some that will even make you laugh out loud.
You have chapa kawa ya kutuliza temperature kabla hiyo story.
Na wewe kuleta mandazi bro.
Mbona ingeandikwa coffee and mandazi?
Aya! Make sure you catch the episodes of Coffee with Movie every Sunday at 8 p.m. Love is friendship that has caught fire. It is the month of love.
When you're loved truly, every grain of your personality changes.
Ooh. A great time to add more fire to your love life.
Why not have a journey before the climax rather than always thinking about the climax?
With great insights from our panelists.
It ought to start during the day. Ikifika pale jioni, sasa flirting ndio inafika kilele. Yeah, that is when now you go for your beautiful dress.
And spice to your relationship. Only on the Garden of Eden. Every Wednesday. You are watching TV47, the home of Untold Stories.
Welcome back. You're watching TV 47 Weekend here on TV 47. The government has assured that 80% of residents have clean water for domestic use and irrigation and sewerage facilities by the year 2022. Speaking when he launched Gichiche Water Project in Othaya, Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Water and Irrigation, Joseph Irungu, said that the government has sufficient funds to achieve these goals through community water projects. More than 1,000 families are expected to benefit from the projects.
Locals, so that they diversify their incomes. And I'll tell you, the youth are very ready to make use of that water so that they generate incomes.
We began off in Murang'a with a project called Merera Irrigation Project. It's a project that we began last year, and it is at 41%. It is a 540 million Kenya shillings project in Lower Murang'a, and it's going to support more than 1,000 families to do irrigation. So the project is at 41% and it's going on well, and we hope that by November this year it will have been finished. We have crossed over to Nyeri to come and start off the project that is called Changachicha. Changachicha has been under design by our ministry on the request of Mheshimiwa Mugambi. He's the one who came to request us to do the project here. And like you realize, in Nyeri sometimes we think, particularly this part of Nyeri, sometimes people think that irrigation should not be the way to go. But now with the rainfall not being very, very adequate, and with the climate change, we need to think about irrigation projects where they can work.
All right, the Kenya Breweries Limited has unveiled a Diageo Bartenders Academy whose aim is to upscale, build capacity and trade engagement with Kenyan bartenders. The academy intends to train 10,000 bartenders in the country over the next 4 months. The launch comes at a time when Kenya is quickly becoming the preferred destination for business and leisure, with hotel owners increasingly scouting for bartenders with ingrained professionalism and efficiency in delivering quality services. Speaking at a media event in Nairobi, KBL Commercial Director Joel Kamau said that the program will sharpen the skills of bartenders in Kenya. The launch coincided with World Bartenders Day, which was marked in Nairobi, Mombasa, Thika, Kisumu, and Nakuru.
As Kenya Breweries, one of our biggest partners who give the world and every consumer a fantastic experience are the bartenders, our mixologists, and today we wanted to cheer them and to see a fantastic job they are doing to give consumers a great experience. But also the second thing we've taken advantage of this day is to launch the Diageo Bar Academy. Now the reason we do this thing is for 3 things. One is to ensure that we are upscaling the bartenders across the country. The second is to give them skills that are able to set them apart from anyone else, and then they can change that skill either in Kenya, if they're in London, in the UK, wherever else in the world. Those will be standards that are known. And the last one is due to using the Diageo Bar Academy, we give them an opportunity to get into the World Bar Academy competition. And that one gives them an opportunity to compete across the world and become one of the most celebrated bartenders in the whole world.
Now, due to COVID-19 pandemic, most of the businesses in the country were affected negatively as others shut down, but the financial institutions are counting profits as majority of Kenyans opted to go for loans to sustain themselves. Now, Kiambu Unity Finance, K-Unity, has announced a 1.6 billion shilling profit in the year 2020. Kiambu Unity Finance, whose majority of its shareholders are farmers, held their annual general meeting as they look forward to invest more in the new technology to enable over 90,000 members to have efficient and quick services.
A number of members, that is important. You closed the year with 91,000 members. This on members share capital, 10.5%.
It's the COVID. Last year was very challenging,
but despite COVID, we were able to grow. Profitability improved by 14% from the previous year. Deposit also grew by 10%. Annual dividend, we have paid annual dividend at 10.4%, which is very commendable, knowing that it was a very, very hard year for us. Unity has also embraced technology through its robust mobile platform, agency banking, and also external money transfer to other banks. Unity has also is very innovative. It has very innovative products which suit our members, and we have seen the uptick of loans going up. Obviously, we are going to go on. Come next year, maybe it will be something close to 6 billion. And what I was saying also is that the board, the transparency the board has, and also the zeal they have for working for this organization is the one which we can fully bank on.
Wananisaidia nikienda huko nikitaka advance wananipa ndio niweze kupata lishe ya ng'ombe, sababu kwetu jua ni kali. So hakuna siku nimeenda kwao wakaniambia hawana pesa.
Now away from Kiambu, let's head over to Baringo. Our Baringo resident wants Board of Central Rift Valley Water Works Development Agency disbanded after challenging the appointment of the board members by Water Cabinet Secretary Cecily Kariuki. Now, through his lawyer Vincent Kemboi, Laban Rotich has faulted CS Kariuki for disbanding the defunct Rift Valley Water Works Development Agency in 2019 that saw it split into North Rift and Central Rift Valley Water Works agencies, according to Kabarnet High Court Judge Justice Justus Bonwonga. The respondents among the 5 members of the board and CS Kariuki have until next month to respond to the suit application, with the case set to be mentioned again on the 25th of March.
In the premises, I hereby grant the adjournment sought for only 20 days, within which the respondents will file their responses, while bearing in mind that this is an urgent matter of public interest.
Well, it's time to take another short commercial break, but we'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
They say the way to the heart is through the stomach. This month of love, Throwdown shares with you those amazing food ideas for that candlelit dinner and picnic date. Learn those dining etiquette and avoid those embarrassing moments every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. What's the perfect way to kickstart your day in the morning? Well, apart from having a healthy breakfast, the Morning Cafe is all you need. We will inform you on what's happening on the roads, dive deeper into the newspapers, alongside heated political debates.
I have to fight the order. Yes. Order.
Did you know that your greatest wealth is health?
Then we start eating right, and that's what I do in my clinic.
With some good Friday vibes. The Morning Cafe with Linda Alela, Monday to Friday, from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Only on TV 47. On the grind. We bring you different entrepreneurs who give the story of their businesses with love and passion.
I'm a musician forever. This is something that is inborn.
It excites me each day. It's a field that has always excited me.
Because when you show love to your business, it will show love to you.
The most rewarding bit of being a photographer is seeing a bride able to see her images of her wedding and evoke emotion in her and just relive the moment once again.
Get to hear these stories and so much more every Monday at 7:30 p.m. On Coffee with Movie, we bring you great testimonies from amazing personalities.
So wa kwanza alikaa ndani ilikuwa intense cause alikuwa alikuwa atafuta place atawaka afanye thesis zake.
Stories that will inspire and encourage you.
Hiyo kitu ilisha waswa ni clap. Sheila told us this is what we've been looking for.
And some that will even make you laugh out loud.
Chapa kawa ya kutuliza temperature kabla hiyo story.
Na wewe hukuleta mandazi bro.
Mbona ingeandikwa coffee and mandazi?
Make sure you catch the episodes of Coffee with Movie every Sunday at 8 p.m. Love is friendship that has caught fire. It is the month of love.
When you're loved truly, every grain of your personality changes.
Ooh.
A great time to add more fire to your love life.
Why not have a journey before the climax rather than always thinking about the climax?
With great insights from our panelists.
It ought to start during the day. Ikifika pale jioni, sasa flirting ndio inafika kilele. Yeah, that is when now you go for your beautiful dress.
And spice to your relationship. Only on the Garden of Eden. Every Wednesday. You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back. You're watching TV47 Weekend here on TV47. Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia has said the government wants the Chinese company that is constructing a road at a cost of 14 billion shillings to fast-track the construction works and ensure it becomes operational as soon as possible. This is despite the fact that the project is scheduled for completion in 3 years' time. Macharia, while inspecting the project at Makuyu in Murang'a, said the government also intends to expand a 15-kilometer stretch from Kenol to Thika Town from the current 2 lanes to 3 lanes.
This road is part of the connection between what we call the Northern Corridor, which is the side of Nairobi, and the Lapsset Corridor, which is the side of Isiolo. So the first project is from here, Keno, which ends at Sagana, Makutano, a distance of about 48 kilometers. And then the next lot is from Makutano, going all the way to Maroa, a distance of about 36 kilometers. The target was to complete this road by October 2023. But we agreed with the contractor that they must finish this project by June 2022.
It has interfered with our businesses, our shambas, and now we have lost.